It's that time of year when lots of water makes things very wet. We've got a waterproofing expert in here. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Your Little Castle show. It's my distinct privilege of talking to business owners from all over the region here who really do a good job of helping us to maintain this little planet. If you're used to St. Louis this time of year, there's usually a little bit of rain.
Yes.
And when rain causes problems, especially if you've got water issues in your basement, your foundation. With that, we've got an expert here to help us understand. Steve Heinrich. Did I say that right?
Yes, sir.
He's the owner, operator, Waterproof Solutions STL, 636-343-4379, down in the old Fenton area.
Yes, Old Town Fenton.
Where I grew up.
Yes.
Yes. What was down there? There was the IGA back in the day, and across from you, I guess.
There used to be a Pizza Hut across the street.
Yeah.
I think, and Noggles, it's now a Mexican restaurant.
Right,
so.
yes, they've got all, we're going way back.
Yeah.
But lots of Merrimack River runs right through there, and I'll never forget
it does.
a couple times where I built a house. I grew up on one side of Fenton, built a house on the other side of Fenton, and the Merrimack River right there, George Winter Park, all that. But water is always something to be, you better be in control of, right?
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk about it. First, let's give a shout out, Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things. Where do you like these nice things? In your little castle. See what we did there? And these guys might have helped you with your little castle, given that if you've had water issues, they're experts that we've got here in the St. Louis area. And so we want to talk a little bit about it. Well, tell me then, obviously this is something you enjoy, but Steve, what is it that ultimately led to this? Years of doing this, you were flipping houses for a long time. Tell me how you led to being the owner of a waterproofing company.
I bought and sold my first house at 20 years old, and I loved it. I fixed the house. I've been handy all my life. I think I've flipped, or maybe not just flipped, but bought and sold about 200 houses in my lifetime. I'm 58.
Oh, wow.
So I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of basements. I've seen a lot of problems, and I've fixed a lot of things. And you get pretty good at it, and you get to surround yourself with the right people. That's really key, is to have the right people at your fingertips.
Okay.
So I started actually using the company that I bought 15, 17 years ago. They've been in this business has been established since 2007.
Okay.
And I was using this business for all my foundation stuff. When I wanted to buy a house, I had them come evaluate it, and I learned every time. I learned more and more and more. Eventually became friends with the owner, sold him a bunch of hot rods, and we just became friends, and eventually I bought the business about a year and a half ago.
Well, that's a cool path to it. I mean, it's getting to know the company pretty well for 15 years and say, these guys know what they're doing. I think I want to be an owner here.
It fit everything because I kind of already understood everything. I did need, to learn a few more aspects of the business, obviously, but I'm loving it. I enjoy going out every day, and I enjoy helping people. That's key.
Yeah, isn't it nice that God made it so that if we help people, we feel better about ourselves in life?
You have no idea.
But
I've got stories, trust me.
Well, we're going to ask you to tell us a couple of them. But you're talking about people, they're in a very stressful situation. They've got water coming in their house, and they just don't want to lose everything. How many people, we've dealt with a recent little flood. We have a cabin, and the last couple of years this is down in Merrimack, Stanton, Missouri. And boy, the water came up. My buddy called me. We went down there, and we missed it by got about a foot and a half of water and everything. So it tear out all the carpets and all that stuff. It's a cabin. Somebody's house, a lot more important, you're going to have people that are displaced and like where the kids are going to sleep and all that stuff. So yes, you save people a lot of headaches.
Oh, it's very stressful if you've let things go and really don't understand how it all works. The thing I like to say is we need to explain to people when I get to a person and they have a problem, no matter what the problem is to explain why the problem's happening. That's kind of where we're different. We don't just go in and try and super sale anybody. I don't quote inside of a building. I don't quote to people. They'll ask me, how much is this going to cost? Because it's a scary number sometimes. And people are, I don't do that. I'm not a hard sales guy. What I do is I just want them to understand why it's happening. Most of the time, it starts outside. You got little bitty gutters. You have little downspouts. Downspouts are beating on your house. You have everything tapering to your house. You have a flower bed that's incorrect, that's allowing water to beat on the side of your house. It's a lot of things that I'm not getting paid for, but I'm going to tell you about them because that's really where it all starts. Now, we get down to the brass tacks, and you need a system, a pit, a pump, drain tile, soldier beams, or cracks. That's great. I quote all that, but I don't ever give bids to people. But what I really want to do when I leave their house is make sure they understood why things were happening and that they understand what process needs to happen. And I think I do a real good job of that. Our whole team does. So we're not super salespeople. We don't take training courses on, to pressure people to get that pencil and sign. That's just not our stuff. Yeah, the famous pencil.
There we go. Yeah, this pencil. We use take note, but there's another one to take note about. No high pressure. That's
nothing.
We've seen many times. I ask. This is a later discussion. I've got a question. I got my outline here. I try to follow, but yeah, how often is it the case they go? We got to go in for the big sale, right? Tell them they got to replace everything. Tell them everything's got to be torn out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not necessarily.
It's not. I just left a house last week that the wall was caving in, and they had done $30,000 worth of business with someone else that did a fix that didn't work, and the house caved in. And it's got mud in it, and the house is shifting. It's sliding down a mountain, and the 80-year-old lady and man that owned the house, they cried. They cried while I was there. And I'm trying to do everything I can to help them, but they were duped, and it was by somebody that had sales training. They flew them to Arizona and got training, to sell something. It's not what we do. We just want to help people fix it, and I want to treat everybody like they're my mom or my dad. That's the bottom line.
Good strategy there. Treat everybody like you would your mom or your dad.
Yep.
And generally, you get along with mom and dad.
Yes.
So you want to take care of them, right?
At least I did.
That's right. Very true. I had wonderful parents too. What do you think that has led you to your success? Obviously, you bring quite a bit of background to this, understanding what's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I think I relate to people. I can go in there, and usually either I end up knowing them or somehow, because I've been in St. Louis my entire life. I was born and raised here. I've had the same phone number for 30 years.
Yeah,
I'm not going anywhere. And that's one of the things I tell people. I'm not going anywhere. A lot of these places, they start them up with a lunchbox. They go out and they do a bunch of stuff and put a Band-Aid or lipstick on a pig, they might say, and then they're gone. I can't tell you how many people I say, well, who did this work when I'm in a house? And they go, they're not in business anymore.
Right.
A lot. Every week I hear that line. They're not in business anymore. So the warranty means nothing if unless you are accredited and you have your footprint on St. Louis. People know you. They know where to find you.
Right.
I'm here. So that's one of the things I think that makes this business successful. That and the team that I have around me is second to none.
Tell me about your team a little bit.
So I've got Michelle. Michelle runs the office. She's the administrative assistant. She knows probably more than 10 men know about waterproofing. She knows. She can answer a lot of questions on the phone. She knows her stuff. She knows all about it. And she's great with the computers and keeping us all organized. Without her, I'd be lost. Thank you very much, Michelle. Stephen Burton, the founder of the company, still works with us doing outbidding. And Greg Forstel is another bidder of ours. He has his own clients that he brings to the table. And then my daughter Stevie, who's in the studio today, she runs part of my rental business stuff, and she also is tapering into this business, learning this business, and as of next week, she's going to start going out on a couple bids with me, just so she understands, so she can answer the phone and actually speak on it properly.
There it is. Say hi, Stevie. They can hear you a little bit.
Hi.
There she is. Yes. So bringing the crew with you a little bit too to make sure we keep everybody in order, right? But she's taking notes over there.
She's the technical person of this pair.
It is good to have a technical person in the family. I don't know much, but they always call me. I said, first have you rebooted, right? The problems I deal with are minuscule compared to what you're dealing with here. You've got big water issues. And a lot of times it is gutters, though, isn't it?
Oh, I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 times, I just tell people that 4-inch gutter is like for a spec house. You don't put 4-inch gutters on any house that's rated for a shed. Basically, it's not a real gutter. It's just the cheapest thing you can get. And when home builders are building a subdivision, they're going to do everything the cheapest way they can. Now, they've been putting sump pits in with no anything else, just a pit.
Yeah.
Because they know they're going to have a problem. Like the St. Louis, I always say, you've got 2 kinds of basements. ones that have been wet and ones that are going to be wet. So they started putting pits in every new house they're building, you know, all the big builders out there. But the problem is all they do is they just drill holes in it and hope water finds it. Then there's no pump in them usually. It's just a bare system. So we have to go in and just replace that. And, you know, I've fixed houses that have been built 6 months ago. We've had to go in and fix cracks from shrinkage and such. We do closed cell urethane. We do carbon fiber repairs, you know, that really strengthens the wall up.
Okay.
But if you have a real serious problem, you have a serious break, we put soldier beams in. We do a lot of things differently. I mean, everybody wants to talk about a patented process. We don't have a patented process. We just do what works, okay?
Okay.
There's a whole bunch of people that say, oh, I've got the latest mouse trap, and you should do this for waterproofing. I just pass that right up. I don't even listen to any of that because most of that stuff, when the earth moves, it moves with it and just continues to move your house.
Oh, wow.
And it's simple for me to show anybody a couple pictures of what was done by other folks and what was done by us and why ours works. Ours is built like the McKinley Bridge.
Okay.
Theirs is built hanging in a piece of dirt outside. That's supposed to hold the wall. The wall's moving, the dirt's moving, so it's going to move with it.
Okay.
Mine's buried and attached, and it works very well.
Back to what you were saying about sump pumps and pits. I had a pit, and I'm on a hill where it slides down,
Yes,
so I'm
you
not
are.
really where there's anything you should worry about. But water will come so quickly to drain the sewers out in front, and I didn't have a sump pump in there. And one day I wake up and I've got an inch of water in my basement. I'm like, how did that happen? I'm kind of on a hill. I'm towards the bottom, but the water drainage is back on the other side. And there it was. And then I've got to go out and tear things out and clean up the mess. But gosh, what a mess. And just if I'd had a pump. Now I've got a pump. And I wired it myself, put out the side. Be careful to do your own work. What are some of the mistakes people make, though, when they try to do it themselves?
Well, I mean, most of the mistakes start outside. They put mulch up on your siding or your brick facade. If you get your earth over the board that's between the concrete and your home, there's a BAM board.
Yeah.
If you get anything on that or capability of water laying up against it, it's going to come in.
Really? Okay.
Once water gets next to your house, water's almost 8 pounds per gallon. Right. 40 gallons will break your house. So if your foundation wall, this is your foundation wall, it's built to hold your house up. It's real strong, 8 foot tall, with a big footing under it. But it's only 8 inches thick, so if 40 gallons will break that. Okay? So over years of water eroding, it becomes a pocket outside your house. So if you've ever been in a basement that was cracked down the middle, horizontally, for one, they're scary. They're scary because they're expensive to fix if you don't jump on it right away. But that's because nobody paid attention to water, downspouts running up against your house. They're just dropping water right next to your house. You have to get water away from your house everywhere. Everything has to taper away. Your gutters need to be buried and taken out to dry wells. You have to be a good steward of your most expensive purchase, unless you have a Learjet or something. But
right. Something most of us don't. But yeah, wow, I didn't realize. Yeah, this makes me scared. I'm gonna have to have it. Do you do inspections? How do you normally
absolutely.
help people with that?
You call us or get online and just register and have me come out. You can pick one of 3 different people to come out. I'm Steve, then there's Steven, and there's Greg. You pick one of us, we come out, doesn't cost you anything. We're going to evaluate your house, your gutters, your landscape, your hardscape. We're going to do all those things for nothing. All we ask is that you listen. We're going to tell you the real truth about what's going on with your house. At the end of the day, if you need some work, we'll bid it. 9 out of 10 times, I tell people they need guttering, they need this, they need that, and then I pass along a phone number for somebody that I trust in the guttering company. I don't own a gutter company. People always ask, do you do gutters? No, I don't. But I sell the crap out of them because I hand them off to people because people need them. Get a 6-inch gutter. If you ever end up with a claim from a storm, a hailstorm, and you're going to get gutters, do not let anybody talk you out of you just have to get a 6-inch gutter. And the other thing, one of the main reasons I'm in business is all those different helmets and gutter guard things that people sell.
Yeah.
That shoots water right off your roof in a big storm. Get an umbrella, go outside during a storm, unless it's a lightning storm, and look at what's going on. Water's going past your gutter. That's huge. You're putting gallons and gallons, thousands of gallons of water on your house.
Up against the foundation.
I shoot crazy videos sometimes. There's one up here. I shoot crazy videos in a storm outside with an umbrella. If you look at the website and say, people, just come out and look at your house during a storm. You'll see that water is surpassing all the reasons, all the guttering, the downspouts are overflowing, things are not working. So
Wow, maybe we'll pull up some of that if you get that on your website here. We've got the website available here. With that, shout out quickly, you've got some incredible reviews. 4.8, 99 reviews. What's it like here? Check this out. I mean, review after review after review of people that are very happy. We hired Waterproof Solutions in February 2026 to fix multiple basement foundation cracks at my son's house in Baldwin. When we originally called, we didn't know there was actually what was actually causing the cracks. After meeting with and talking with Greg Forstel,
Yes.
we felt thoroughly examined in our issues, both inside the house and out. We're knowledgeable professionals and provide honest opinions. We felt comfortable, and they go on and on there. But wow, somebody there really felt like you did some good work for them.
So in the old building, the original building, there was a hallway that we walked through, actually where the restrooms were. It was about 20 foot long, and the whole entire wall was full of all the cards and thank you letters and all the things. When we moved to the new office, which is the old Seabird Insurance building that I bought, we moved there. We didn't have room. We moved to a smaller office in a sense, smaller footprint, but we took pictures of all that, and we hung those pictures. You know, we had them made on canvas, just because it was just a much smaller. There was so much of it, you know, and they're heartfelt. There's nothing better than helping somebody that couldn't get help, you know. And people have just taken money from them, or just in general, just people that can't figure it out.
Yeah, no, it's a big issue. People, like, you can't sell your house if you've got foundation problems. And
No, that's absolutely true. And you don't want to buy one with a foundation problem unless you know somebody like me.
That's right. With that, we're going to take a break, share some of our community excitement, celebrating the 100th anniversary of Route 66. John Goodman and somebody you might recognize who's close to my heart was brought in for a little quick thing on the Today Show. Check it out.
Guys, he's amazing.
You know, you were driving around town and you went past your old high school and said, thought about stopping in, but said, there's nobody here left that I know. But in fact, your high school drama teacher, Judy Rethwish, is still there.
Yeah.
And she left a little message for you.
Hello, John. This is Judy Rethwish from the Afton School District. And I just wanted to say that you've made some wonderful contributions to our district. And we're so proud of you and all the things you have done. I'm particularly proud, and I remember when you had the lead in Hello Dolly, and we got a standing ovation for that show, and I saw the light in your eyes, and I knew that's what you were going to do the rest of your life.
Wow.
Special.
That's got to be special.
Yeah, yeah.
She saw it in you.
She had to fight to get me into a couple of productions because I was on the D list.
Well, you're on the A list now.
Affairs. Yeah, well, let's not go nuts.
100 acting credits. I think you're on that. You made it.
Really?
Yes.
Yep. Counted them up.
Break them down.
Could you list them all for us? No kidding. John, thank you so much.
Oh, thank
You're
you.
going to be sticking around. You're going to help us out with some trivia, right?
Yep.
Some Springfield trivia is coming up in just a sec. Then later, since we are in the birthplace of Route 66, we are going to have our own classic car show.
His name is Carter Rethwish, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwish was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds. to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. By now, we are on ABC 5 times a week. So many businesses are loving what we're doing to help them get their name out there. We'll sit right here in our guest chair, right here, sitting here talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your website and everything about you, and highlight you as a leader. Fill out the form you see here on our website. It's bigleagues.com, and if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form. Takes just a couple seconds, and you can even schedule yourself right here. Schedule yourself to be on the show, and there's no charge for us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio. Check it out if you would like to be on. Fill out the form again, bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Professional video on your website closes more sales by instantly building trust, clearly explaining complex products, and keeping visitors engaged longer, reducing bounce rate by 34%. It'll help you to gain that credibility, increase engagement, simplify complex tasks, lower your sales friction, and boost your rankings on the search engine. So this is all kind of a no-brainer. See how we've now had over 500 interviews and now almost 250 different business owners. Go to bigleagues.com. That's bigleagues.com. Go to bigleagues.com and get signed up. You can schedule right from there. So there we have it, everybody, and lots of fun we get to partake in the community. Behind me, you can see there is that Blazer. That's not a Bronco, right?
You got it right.
Bit of a, initially I didn't, but I remembered.
I wasn't going to tell anybody, but it's okay, Cowboy. Go ahead.
But yeah, the Blazer, the Bronco. The Blazer, much more awesome car. But yeah, you're a car enthusiast as well.
I am.
And you partake in Jason. You know Jason LeCavalier.
Very well.
Do you do the Cruise and Lindbergh?
Every time we do it, unless we're out of town for something. But yeah, I've been doing it since I was 16. 71 Camaro.
Yeah.
We went. Used to just be a triangle and about 100 people. Now it's thousands. It's bumper to bumper.
Did you do it when you were a kid too?
Oh, when I was a kid, we had the squirt guns. We'd squirt the girls. Yeah, it was just bumper to bumper. And,
all through Lindbergh, and
all around
Ronnie's
Lindbergh.
8 and all that.
Yes.
When you were a kid.
Yes.
My buddy had a '67 Chevelle convertible, and we had some fun. I had the Cougar. Does that count? That's not really.
Sure.
It's an old car.
That's a neat car.
A lot of fun stuff. Well, that's neat. Tell me though, as a numbers guy, any kind of business people, baseball background, sports background, you like hockey, you got to pay attention to your stats. Give me a quick analysis. Like, what is it? Why should somebody do this the right way? What does somebody typically spend to get a repair done? And I guess it can range.
Well, again, I don't do quotes on a house for this very same reason. I would say that let's talk about crack repair. Crack repair is an easy one. It's by the foot. It's if it's a crack going this way that's not massive and it just needs closed cell urethane, that's like $65 a foot. Let's say if it needs carbon fiber over that it's going to end up being about $100 a foot.
Okay.
And that's really the only thing you can talk about. Everything else is by the foot too. The French drain or a system in your house. It's all by the foot.
Right.
It starts at $3,500 for that system, and it goes up. So it can get expensive, but it's a necessity. And if it's done correctly, you shouldn't have to mess with it again. During the lifetime of an ownership of a house. But everything moves, everything happens differently. When I pulled up here, I saw a huge mountain behind your house, and the first thing I said to Stevie was, I wonder if he's got water in the basement, because you've got water that could easily crash your house. I mean, I see things so differently than other people. People buy a house laying up against a mountain, automatically don't think that, hey, I'm going to have a water problem. Let's work at it while you were building this home. You know, you could have had French drains put. You could have done a whole lot of stuff while you were under
Right.
construction. But you had to come in later and do a little something. But you're fixed now, and that's great.
Yeah, well, it's a stressful event too, and I do recognize one time, and I don't know if it was from the water fountain in front of the house, but water was coming in right over the middle, beneath the door, over by the fountain, and I'm like, right at the top of the first floor in the basement. So there's stressful situations here. Maybe we'll call you.
Maybe
sometime.
maybe we'll look in the basement before we leave. Hey.
For one of those evaluations. But yes, we have a studio we built. It's fairly elaborate. A lot of people don't realize where the studio's at, but we built a nice little fun studio here in the biggest room in our facility. We like to say. All right, well then, why should somebody choose you? Obviously, you're a pretty straight shooter, man. You tell it how it is.
Yeah.
And what are some of the benefits? Some of the things you do that set you apart?
I make them understand the problem. I don't just go in and go, hey, you need this, and this is how much it costs. The big difference is that I will absolutely look them in the eye, like a poker deal, and say, I mean, did you understand what I explained? Do you see where I'm coming from? And if they have that glazed look, I go, let's go over it again. I'm like, and I'll show them, and I'll explain to them. And I've got illustrations in my book, which are all over the website. You can get all this stuff for free on my website. You can go look at it and learn so much about a house. You could there's cutaways, all these drawings. It shows you, what a sump pump is and what it looks like. French drain as opposed to, there's all kinds of different ways to move water and keep it off your house.
Yes, important things to know, especially if you have ever dealt with some water. I happen to have a little learning I had, but one of our neighbors had a waterproofing company back in the day, and they talked about it, man. But it could be devastating to a house. Houses collapse and walls collapse, and you're talking $30,000-$50,000 repairs.
Yeah,
and
they can get up to $80,000.
Yeah,
The lady I spoke about earlier, her repair is going to be about $80,000. The wall's got to come down. You have to support the house. You have to dig the entire front yard out, jackhammer the front porch off, pour a new basement, and then you have to pour it about a foot short so that you can pour it, and then you have to cinder block it in and with a mason. There's a lot of trades that have to come in and do all this work.
wow. And I was just thinking, how often is that something that's covered by insurance?
Never.
Never.
Matter of fact, if you look at your insurance policies, you might want to call your insurance agent because most of the time you don't have coverage for even flash flooding and whatnot. Very few people have flooding insurance. So take a look at your policy, ask your person, make sure you have full coverages in case something backs up in a sewer, especially if you have a finished basement.
Lots of good reasons there to get an expert for this one, everybody. We're about to finish up here. We got about a minute left. There are no specific certifications for this, and that's why you got to be careful who you hire because.
Yeah, I didn't have to take a test.
Right.
And nobody has to take a test to do this. The bottom line is you have to trust the person. I give honest opinions. I give honest work evaluations. Call me. Call 3 people. Don't just call me. And then evaluate what they're all about. I got to tell you that there's a lot of weird stuff going on out there. It's a renegade industry. You have to be careful who you choose.
Be smart about that.
Do your homework.
Lots of benefits by working with a small business owner like
Yes,
you have
sir.
here. Tight-knit crew that knows each other well and does a great job. And does it make it easier for you as a small business to make the decisions to help people?
Yes, I think if I had a bunch of different 100 people working for me at one time, it would be hard to get that quality. I can go out and do job visits every week while people are working. Go out and so the person I sell to sees me again most of the time. The person that says yes, I want you to come out and put a system in, they'll see me while the work's being done.
There it is. Stay tuned. You're watching your little.